Hey everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I'm going to show you how to use the template to add your puppets to your cards. This is all using my new paper collection, which is just launching. So in this pack here, you get 32 sheets. It's a premium foiled card pack. So you've got 6 foiled die cut topper sheets, 10 foiled pattern papers and 16 pattern papers. And these here are the puppets. So I have taken bits out, so this is kind of being used, but you've got 2 sheets of each. You've got 2 sheets of the skeleton and the spider, 2 sheets of the bat and the cat, and it's the cat that I'm going to show or use today, and 2 sheets of the witch and the ghost, which is probably my favourite, and I like the skeleton as well. And on this one here, you have this template, your pull tab, you've got your arrow. Don't throw that away if you don't have the dies. If you've got the mechanism dies that I launched with my puppet collection, so with all the pets and the Christmas puppets a couple of years ago, then you can use those mechanisms. Everything coordinates. But I thought it'd be nice to have paper puppets like this, all coloured and die cut for you, and then have that mechanism there as well, the template for it. So there's a few ways that you can use this. So I'm going to talk you through and show you the way that I think most of you will use it. So the nice thing about the template is you can this onto any size card you want. So if you want to do maybe a scrapbook layout, which is, you know, usually 12 by 12 card, you could have your puppet on there if you wanted to. We're going to stick with normal card sizes here, so I'm going to do a 5 by 7. So I've cut myself using the pattern papers from the pad there. This is a piece of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and this is going to go on my 5 by 7 card blank. Okay, with this one here, you want to take your template. So I'm actually going to use this one here, which doesn't have a lot on it, and what I recommend you do is just snip all of kind of the excess off, and then I'm going to just pop that back, so I'll use that as well. So let's just cut around here. Okay, so that's what you want to keep it in with your paper pad, pop it in a little folder somewhere safe. So just then remove these pieces here and all of your little circles there. So now you can place this anywhere you want on any size. It's great if you want to do 3D makes. I've got these gift bags here and I pop them on the front there. I think they look really, really good. So to make sure your puppet fits, what I recommend you do is take the head of your puppet, and it must cover, the top of the head must cover just the top of that slot. So now I know that if I bring this down here, it's going to be a bit too low. So if I bring it up here, that's going to be much better. And then I can see his body is going to go under there. So I've got room there for a sentiment if I wanted to, but I want to pop the hat on him. So I want to make sure, again, that's all going to stay in my envelope, which it will, even with this hat on. This is a 6 by 6 version that I made using the die set, and it fits. The puppets will go on any of the 3 mechanisms, so the 5 by 7, the 6 by 6 or the USA 2, but some of them may overhang, or some of them you might have to rearrange the extra additions, because I wanted them to be able to work across all size cards with the template. So if you're doing your 8 by 8 or you're doing those smaller A2, USA 2, A6 sizes, things like that, then they're going to work as well. So I've just tried to really make it versatile so that everybody can use it. So yeah, so always use the head first to kind of gauge where it needs to go, and then yeah, go from there. So now I know that that's where that needs to be. I'm going to take a pen, pencil, whatever you want. Make sure this is straight, okay? And I'm just going to trace around it. Now, the good thing about all of this is it's all hidden. So if your cutting isn't very nice or it's a little bit wonky, you're not going to see any of that. So I really wouldn't worry how this looks. And then go around those 4 holes there, like so. Okay, so make sure you can see it all. Now, there's a few ways to do this. If you don't have a hole punch, you can just use your piercing tool. As long as that brad can get through, then it's going to be fine. So I just push that through. That is more than enough. So if you've got my piercing tool from my kit, that's going to be fine. If you've got something like this, then that's going to help you to be able to punch a hole in any area. You ideally want it to be around the 5mm width, which is the brads that go in. But if you do make them a bit bigger, it's not the end of the world, because I think even the 8mm, let me just use a larger brad here, because this is the most common hole punch size. like for example on this one here, and if you've got just like a normal stationary hole punch. So these here, these are obviously for the smaller brads, but yeah, the bigger ones will go through. And if it's a bit tight, make these holes a little bit bigger as well with whatever you've used to punch. Obviously be careful because they're close together. I think just piercing it, you're going to be fine. So I just wanted to show a few options there. You've also then, some of you have got things like this, your big bite, and you've got the 1/8, and that's again the size. So I can just pop that in like so. I just flip it over, you can see there. So whatever works for you, but you want to pierce all of the holes. And then I'm just going to use my cutting mat and my knife there, and I'm just going to cut just along each of those like so, and then just a little bit on each side there just to detach it. You could use your scissors in there as well, and then just push that through. So that is now everything that we need for the puppet to work against. Now we need the pull tab. So you could just stick these two together and use these, but you really want to save these. So we're going to draw around it. Again, it doesn't really matter how this all looks as long as the holes are in the place that they need to be. And then I've got a little trick or tip to tidy up the circle. If you can't cut that perfectly, you can use a circle die or a circle punch. So I think I want to do the purple, so I've got the same here. So I'm just going to lay this down on the top. I'm actually going to use a pencil this time and just draw around, and then again just add the little holes there. Now ideally you want to double this up, so I'm going to just add my glue to the back of this piece, because this isn't a very strong, this is about a 210 220 GSM. So I'm just going to put that over there and just let that dry for a second. Now I'm just going to punch mine with this punch again. Okay, and now I'm just going to cut this out. Again, don't worry too much. The bit you really want to get as neat as you can is this straight bit here. Like I said, you can then put another circle over the top of that if you can't get that, you know, perfectly round. Okay, so that's my pull tab. Do make sure it's dry between the layers. Mine's still wet, so I've got a bit of glue everywhere there. But like I said, if you've got a circle punch or a small nest of dies, it doesn't even have to be a circle. You could put a square over the top of that if you wanted to. I'm just going to add another little bit of glue on there, and then just pop that over the top there. And it doesn't have to be a circle, you could pop a square on the end if you wanted to, that will work as well. So again, keep that template with this one here, but now you've got everything you need to allow your puppet to move. So now you want to take all the limbs. So you don't need the body, you just need the 2 arms and the tail in my case, because the feet are already on the body there. It's just his tail that's going to move on one side. So just pop all the little holes out there. Now ideally you want your 5mm brads, however, like I showed you, you can use slightly bigger ones, and you'll usually want 8, but with the cat you only need 7 because he's only got the tail on one side. Colours of the brad, you don't really see them. It's only the skeleton where you would really want to use white ones or black, because the skeleton has kind of holes in his body, as it would, so you do see a little bit of the brad on that one. Okay, so there's my brad. So I'm going to take one of the arms. So the top 2 are for the arms, bottom 2 are for the legs. And it's up to you, kind of, they're slightly curved more on one side. I think I'm going to do that way. You're going to pop a brad through the end hole and then through this one here. Open it up, and then I always just like to use my pokey tool there just to open the brad, and you want to make sure that that swings really nicely. And then again, like so. And then with the tail, you could have it on that side if you want it going down, but it was designed to go on the left, so I'm going to pop it through there, and then again. Now you've got this strange looking piece. Now you have the arrow here. If you're using white card, you can actually then use that arrow and just stick it on. For the purposes of this video, I think I will just use the black arrow, but you could also use my stamp set here and you could heat emboss the word pull or the arrows on here. And you can also use this as a stencil. So if you've got white card, maybe even embossing your your watermark ink, you could dab that through here. But if you've got I'm just going to take this red marker here, use the thicker end, and you can position it onto, you know, the end of your pull tab and just colour it in. And there you've got your arrow. So there's a few ways to use this piece as well. You could just draw around that little arrow as well. So, you know, I've tried to think of lots of ways to use this so it's going to work, you know, for everybody. But I just realised I don't need that piece of card, but that's okay. So yeah, I think I'm going to, do I heat emboss in white? It would look quite nice in white, wouldn't it? So I think I might do some heat embossing. I'm actually going to stamp the word pull, I think, on this one. I don't think I've done it on any of my samples. I've just used the arrow or the ones from the die set. Okay, so that is all heat set. Now, another thing that you don't have on this that you have on the die set is you have your little finger pull. Because when this slides through, like so, it will sit about here. Now, you could probably get away with it, but still being able to pull it out. But again, if you've cut yourself a circle, the circle die that you've used, if you just lay this down and you want to line up the holes here with the holes that you've punched onto the card, put this in the middle of the slot, okay, and then you'll be able to see where the sides of your circle are. Okay, whatever shape you've used, just mark the sides. And then I'm going to take this one here and I'm just going to line that up so I've got a half a circle or semicircle there. Punch that out. So now when we pop this through, it will sit, once we line everything up, but it will sit now in the middle. And once that's on the card, it's just going to be much easier for you to pull it out. You can also, just trying to show as many steps as possible, lay this on top of here, pop a little cross there, and then I'm just going to punch through both those layers. So now if you pop that back through there, line that up, and then when this goes on top of here, it means that you can pull that really easily from the back. Okay? And just trying to throw in as many steps and just different little tips along the way. So now you want to take your brads and pop them through the other holes and right through the card this time. Open up again, and I like to just bend them over that one. And on there. And then the tail. And now you can do a test. You can see it moves really well. Okay, push that right down as far as it will go. And we need to now add some foam. So what we need to do is bring the foam up. So you need to double it up so that it's the same height or slightly higher than the brads. So I've just got some foam pads here. I find like a 1/4 inch squared piece is enough. And you want to attach this next to the pull tab there, and in between like the arm and the tail, or arm and leg, whatever it is, and then bring it up and make sure it doesn't stop it. So that's kind of stopping the tail a little bit. So I'm going to just push that back down again and just bring it up a little bit higher. And now, yeah, that's better. Just make sure it's just got that clearance to be able to move fully. So just double that one up, and then I'm going to do the same opposite. And then also above the slot, so you can support the head, and double that up as well. And then keeping that pushed down, you're going to take the body and you want to make sure that the bottom covers the bottom of the mechanism. I'm just going to push that brad up there, like so. Don't worry about the tail on this one. It will all reveal once you move it. There you go. And now we just need to take the head, and then I'm just going to position the top of the head on the top of the foam, and then I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of glue just to support. And now I can add his hat. Just bring it down over his eye a little bit. I reckon about there. and then just add a little bit more glue. Make sure you don't get any glue anywhere else apart from the puppets. There we go. So then flip it over, and we need to add some foam on the back just so that the brads have got, you know, room to move. So I'm going to add one in each corner along the sides there, and also one in the middle just so it doesn't dip. And then take your card blank, and you just want to line everything up like so. So that's how it will be in the envelope. And then when they pull the tab, they've got their cute little cat. So next we want to add the little bats. I'll probably have that up there. And then my sentiment. So it has to be Happy Halloween, you scaredy cat, which is the same one that I did there. And I think I'm going to use the same. I've got a little bit of scrap card here. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to use Perfectly Wicked in every way, because it's like purr. I know it's not spelled that way. It's not one of my puns, but it I still think it works. So I'm just going to stick this onto here, so we've got a nice purple border. And just stick that one there. So thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this cute card and how to use my template from the paper collection. If you head over to Made to Surprise on YouTube, you will find more cards using the dies and also the template. You'll also find my 3D makes using this paper collection over on my Mixed Up Craft YouTube channel. So lots of inspiration out there. You'll find links to all of the products that I've used in the description box below, and coming up now will be some other videos that you might want to go and watch next. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.